So now what we are going to do is we are going to extend the hard-coded tiles to make it more generic. So if you have a OData here, how we should be able to use this OData to create the tiles in the tile container. We also have to pass the icons in the OData itself so that they will be picked up by the binding. So let's replace and do the changes. We should be giving here icon instead of ID, and we will be copying the exact thing which let's close this tab, and you're going to have here icon, and then we will just copy this for the rest of the data. So let's only show 4 tiles for now. And now we have to replace the names of the icons in the data. So elephant will be this, and then this map to, which we can write. And the last one is travel expense. So we are going to just this changes here, map to, and also the travel expense. And we have the data ready, which can be binded to the tiles. We don't need the hard coding of the tiles now, so we will remove these and also this one. Now what we have to do is we have to create a template, and that template will be used to create all the other tiles. So this will be like a frame, which we did in the tables and also in the list. So we are going to create the template for O tile template, and we're going to say new SAP.m. standard tile, and then we are going to pass the properties. The properties, it will contain our same icon, and then we are going to use the binding syntaxes here with the curly braces. We're going to write name, I think it was icon key in the data, and then we have title. This time we are not going to misspell to tile, but title will be name with the curly braces, and then we have info. So info will be having places with a capital P, and that's it. We have the standard tile ready. Now we are not required to give any properties in the tile itself. You can add your properties to tiles depending upon the customization you want, but to have the required output which we saw in the previous section with the binding, we don't require any additional properties. We only need to do the bindings of the data, which we are going to do now, and for that we require the tile container, and we're going to say bind aggregation, and then we are going to pass what are the types of aggregation we are going to bind. So here we are going to bind tiles, and then we are going to provide the name, which is the path where they can find the data. This is the names which I'm mentioning here. So if they go inside the names, there is an array which contains the data. So this will be the path, and the final path is the template, which is O tile temp. So this will be taken as a frame to create the rest of the tiles. So we have already set the model to the core, and this should also work. So let's go in preview, live preview, and there we have it. We are able to see these tiles, and these are generated generically. So this is the actual way of generating tiles. Hard coding is not a good option to follow, and in the project as well, if you are working on tiles, you should use the bind aggregation function. It's quite simple. when you are used to bind aggregation, because there are a lot of variations like bind items, bind rows. Initially it is a bit confusing, but with time you will get used to it. So in the next section we are going to see the aggregation function, and also there is a wonderful factory function which is provided by UI5 library to have a better control of the binding of the data at the time they are binded. So when this frame is created and the data are placed here, if you want to change the data at the time of placement, those kind of functionalities are also provided by the factory functions. So we are going to see in more details in the next section.